about to tell y'all a story of how I almost lost my sister because of what a nigga did. So boom, y'all. This was sometime at the beginning of last year. I'm gonna say April, and my sister, she had just started talking to this dude. Now, mind you, my sister was living with me at the time, so any nigga she was dealing with had to come to my house. Now, I was really funny about niggas coming to my house, but this nigga, I could tell she really liked. She had been to his house, and they was talking for a while. So when she asked me, like, Nina, can I bring this nigga over? I was just like, at first, no. But then she really, was talking to me about him and let me know she thinks he's a really cool dude. He was bringing pizza for the kids, and he was bringing alcohol. Sooner or later, she talked me into it, and I'm just like, okay, sis, it's cool. Like, tell the nigga pull the fuck up. And now, y'all, I'm not no psychic or whatever, but I had a big, intuition just telling me, like, don't let this nigga pull the fuck up. But at the same time, this my sister, like, she liked this man, and I'm not finna have her suffering, not linking with no nigga just because she stayed with me. Like, my sister don't drive, we don't really go out like that, so it was just like, either she was gonna go with him or he was gonna come over there. So, she did have her kids over there, so I was like, I'm gonna let her slide on type shit. So the nigga ended up pulling up, and when he pulls up, I'm in the middle of cooking and cleaning, getting the kids ready for bed. Now, since he pulled up, my sister, she go ahead and start taking her shots. So they getting drunk as fuck. But I'm like, I'm not gonna take no shots until I get the kids in the bed. Because, I wanna be able to, get lit how I want to type shit. So after a while, all the kids are asleep except for one, and that's because, he's autistic. Like, he kind of was picking his own bedtime at the time. So it was really hard to get him to sleep. So I'm like, everybody else is asleep. Like, he's the only one I got to keep an eye on. I'm going to go ahead and start drinking now. So by the time I started drinking, my sister was already drunk. And I'm going to insert a clip of the video right here where I could just tell my sister was drunk and I was getting there too.
Trouble, come on. For your own trouble, let's go.
I'm going.
Oh my God.
Where you going, bro?
I'll wait, because if you get her too drunk, she really gonna. So at this point, he's like, take another shot, as you hear in the video. And my sister's like, if you give me another shot or too many shots, I'm just gonna go to sleep. And at this point, we're drunk. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm weak because she is gonna go to sleep. That's what you hear in the video. So, my sister's like, yeah, I'm horny, I want some dick. So I'm just like, oh, okay, like, y'all go do what y'all do. Like, y'all can go out to the car or whatever. Like I said, kids in the house, so this ain't that. So he ended up going to the car with my sister, and I kid y'all not, about 5 minutes later, this man was walking right back inside the house. So I'm just like in the room with the baby. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention I had just not too long ago had a baby. So yeah, the baby was up. So I was sitting in the room with the baby, holding the baby, and trying to get the baby to sleep. Now, I started drinking late, so I can't say I was drunk. But that point of when you drunk, like right before you get drunk to where you can't like compose yourself anymore. You feel yourself getting drunk, but you still like can hold your composure for that moment. So yeah, at this point, that's where I'm at. I'm drunk, but I'm not drunk. You feel me? Like, I'm drunk, but that drunk ain't hit me yet. So he walked in the house and he was just like, yeah, I need a towel. Your sister is throwing up in my car. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me go get that. So like, I pick up the baby because I'm sitting on the bed. I pick up the baby to go get him a towel. And he was just like, oh, I can hold the baby for you. Now, mind y'all, like I said, I'm not going to make any excuses in this video at all. I'm keeping it real raw. Like, and, under the influence, there's things that you do that you don't think about before you do them. And one thing that I didn't think about before I did it was hand my baby over to that man. I gave him my baby to put her to sleep like he said he was going to do. He asked to hold the baby. I went to get the towel. I literally walked to the kitchen, y'all. And when I say the kitchen was the next room over, it was literally the next room over. I'm going to say it took me about 25 steps at most to get to the kitchen and back to the room to give him the towel. So when I get back to the room to give him the towel and I go to grab the baby, I notice the baby is asleep. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I've been trying to get this baby asleep for hours. I just left the room for less than 5 minutes, less than 3 minutes, and I come back and the baby is asleep. So at this point, I'm just like, drunk, but thinking, like, what did you do to my baby? So I lay the baby down and I walk to the living room, which is outside of my bedroom. So it's bedroom, living room, kitchen. So when I walk out of my bedroom, I go to the living room and I'm just sitting on the couch in the living room and I go to light up a blunt. So while I'm lighting up the blunt, I just hear somebody bust in the house. Now, he's in the bathroom, like wetting the towel so that he can wipe up whatever mess she made. So when I look back to see who's walking in the door, it's my sister. And she's just like, what the fuck are y'all doing in here? Y'all think I'm drunk? Y'all think I could be sneaky? Y'all think I could do shit behind my back? That's fucked up. And then she looks at me and I'm just sitting on the couch smoking a blunt like, nothing's going on. So when she sees nothing's going on, she just didn't say anything. She walked straight to the back of the house and she laid down. She got in the bed and she laid down and she went to sleep. Now, I did see him come out the bathroom because the way my bedroom was set up, I could see straight down the hallway. I could see the bathroom. I could see everything down the hallway. So I did see him come out the bathroom with the towel and go in the room with her. So he was in the room with her, and when he went in the room with her, I heard my autistic nephew playing in the living room. Now, at the moment that I heard him start playing in the living room, that's when my drunk hit. Literally, it hit, and it hit so fucking hard. So I hear my nephew in the living room, and I hear like something like spraying. I hear some kind of spray, and I'm automatically assuming it's Lysol. Now, at this exact moment, you guys, when I say my drunk hit, I was out of my motherfucking body. So, like, I just lay back on my bed, and, like, the baby is beside me. So, like, the baby's, like, in my arm. The way I lay, like, I put my arm around the baby, so the baby's in my arm. Now, I'm laying there, and all of a sudden, I just feel, like, throw up coming out of nowhere. And I couldn't fucking move. And, you know, I still remember to this day the way it felt to not be able to control my body. Because when I say I threw up on my baby, I did just that. I threw up. I was throwing up on, and when I was throwing up, I was laying down exactly how I'm sitting up now. So as I'm throwing up, it's just running down my mouth. It's running everywhere. It's in my hair. It's running down my arms to the baby. I'm just like vomiting. Just like, it's coming out like fucking water and it's going everywhere. So as I'm throwing up, all that's going through my head is like, oh my God, my baby is right here, and I just really hope I don't drown her and throw up because I cannot fucking move my body right now. Next thing I know, I hear him coming out the room with my sister, and I hear him just talking on the phone. Now, I'm going to tell y'all exactly where my headspace was this whole time because, like I said, I was drunk as fuck and I could not move my body, but my comprehension skills were at 100. My comprehension skills were at 100%. So, when he came out that room with my sister and he was on the phone with his homeboy, and I know it was his homeboy because when he walked in the room, he looked at me and he just started laughing. And he just said, oh my gosh, these bitches are drunk as fuck. And the first thought that went through my head was, this nigga is about to call his homeboy over here to try to take advantage of us. Like I told y'all at the beginning of this video, I'm very funny about guys coming to my house because of shit that happened in my past. I am very funny when it comes to men. Around me, around children, around anybody. Because at this point, I knew there was nothing I could do even if he did try to do something. So I'm just thinking in my head, oh my God, he's about to invite his homeboy over and him and his homeboy about to have a party with me and my sister. However, when he walked in the room and he seen me, throwing up, he was like, oh shit, these bitches drunk as fuck. Let me call you back. I gotta clean this shit up. So in my heart at that moment, I just felt like a sigh of relief. Like, I just felt the biggest relief. Like, okay, this nigga's not one of those. Like, he's really here to try to help. He's gonna help clean up me and the baby because I can't fucking move at this point. So next thing I know, I just hear him saying, oh my God, I gotta get this cleaned up. So I'm like, okay, in my head, yes, he's about to clean the baby up. Mind you, I was talking to his brother. So my sister was talking to him, and I had just started getting to know his brother because he was like in the midst of hooking me and his brother up. So when he's like, oh my gosh, I gotta clean this shit up, I'm just like, damn, this is embarrassing as fuck. Like, this is embarrassing. The nigga picked me up like a fucking baby, and I just remember thinking in my head, no, clean the baby up. Like, fuck me, clean the baby. because I didn't see her myself, but I know how much I was fucking throwing up, and I just know she had to be covered in throw up. So like when I said this man picked me up like a baby, he picked me up like this arm under my legs and this arm behind my neck. So he picked me up like a baby, and I just remember him carrying me to the bathroom, and standing me against the wall, which I thought was weird because if I was trying to clean up a drunk person, I think I probably would sit them down, you know, on like the bathtub or on the toilet. But no, he stood me up, and I just remember my body just slouching against the wall. Like I was slouched against the wall, but I was in a position to where I was comfortable enough to hold myself up. So I'm standing against the wall, and I just start feeling something wet just going across my face, and I could just tell he was like wiping me down with a rag, and it was just really cold. And y'all, yeah. When I say that man had to be wiping me down with that rag for about a whole 45 minutes, like it just felt so long, and y'all, I just felt the rag like just, it was just so soft. It was so soft, y'all. Like I just remember exactly what the fuck it felt like. I remember just feeling so disgusted because it just felt so weird to just be sitting there. Just this, he was just literally just like rubbing the rag on my face, just so soft. You know, it was just very. It made my body get chills. And at this point, I'm just still out of it, y'all. I cannot move. I can't. And one thing that I remember from that day that I'll never forget is there was a moment where my lips were so dry, y'all. My lips were so dry. I was so dehydrated. And all I wanted to do was just lick my lips. And I couldn't. I couldn't lick my lips. I couldn't control my body at all. And at that point, I was just like, this can't just be liquor. It can't. Me and my sister drink bottles of Hennessy all the time, and we've never been like this. She's never been like this. I've never felt like this. So I'm just like, yeah, no, something is off. Something is wrong. So after that 45 minutes went by, he took me from that wall and he put me on the toilet. He didn't sit me on the toilet. He put my body over the toilet. So my head is basically on the toilet, and I just remember just thinking how nasty it was for my head to be on the toilet. And he's behind me at this point, and when I say I can't feel my body, y'all, I couldn't feel my body to the point where I couldn't tell if this man was fucking me or not. I just knew the position I was in. This nigga he had a motive. I knew. If we were fucking or not, I couldn't tell because I couldn't feel anything at all. Until there was a point where I heard him gasp. And as a woman, we know when a man enters our body, you know, he make a sound. So yeah, he made the sound, and at that point, I didn't feel anything at all. I didn't feel him inside of me, but I knew in my heart. I knew my body knew this man was inside of me. I just couldn't get the thought in my head to wrap around that he was inside of me. So I was just telling myself, as I was sitting there, this kind of feels like a dream. You know, I was like, this could be a dream. I just feel like this is a dream. And the way I told myself I would know if this was a dream or not was by seeing what my vagina felt like when I woke up that next morning. So I told myself in my head, like, when you wake up, you're going to see if your pussy hurt. You're going to see if it's popping. You're going to see if it's something coming out of there. Like, you know, as a woman, we know how our body is supposed to feel. So, yeah, that happened. And after that happened, he carried me back to the bedroom. Now, when I got back to the bedroom, I just found it was so weird that my sister was laying in my bed. Not in her bed with her kids, in my bed with my baby. So, mind you, before I got in the bathroom, she was in the bed with her kids, and I was in the bed with my baby alone. But now she's in my bed, so I'm like, how did you get in my bed without realizing nobody's in my bed? Like, you know, you didn't look for me, you didn't look for him, like, but you know, when you're drunk, you do shit and you just don't know what you're doing. You're just doing shit just to do it, and that's just how I assume that went. So, he put me back in the bed, and y'all, can you believe this story is not even over yet? And it's nowhere near over, because baby, it's about to get serious now. So he puts me in the bed, and at the time, my sister has this Michael Kors purse, and it just like, okay, so I don't know if y'all have ever seen like the child-proof purses, but you gotta like push the button on the top and the bottom, press them together, and then like lift the purse open. So she had one of those. So the nigga, when he put me in the room, he walked out of the room, and y'all, I heard him literally shaking something with chains on it. Mind you, the Michael Kors purse had a chain strap. So I hear him shaking the purse, and it just like in my head, it just clicked like, yeah, he's trying to rob her, and he can't get in the purse, so now he's getting upset. So after that, like I just heard him go out the house. I heard him leave, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, telling this story, like, I don't know. If I was the person listening, I don't know if I would believe me or not. But when I heard that door close, I threw myself out that bed. When I say I took my whole body and I just rolled my whole body off the bed. Now, mind you, he placed me on the edge of the bed. I threw my body off the bed. Where I got the energy to even control my body from, I don't know, because this whole time I couldn't. But now I threw myself off the bed and I crawled. I crawled to the front door and I locked the door. Once I crawled to the front door and I locked the door, something in my head told me, while you up, you might as well go ahead and check on, you know, your nephew. So I crawled to the back room to where my nephew is, and he's still awake in the room. And it's way after, you guys. All of this has happened. So I go in there and I just unplugged his TV. Like, I crawled behind the dresser, I unplugged the TV. I just reached, I unplugged it, and I just crawled back to the room. And when I got back to the room, I ended up falling asleep on the floor because I didn't have the energy to get back in the bed. My bed is very high. It's the king size. It sits very high up off the floor. So now I'm just laying on the floor, and I just remember thinking in my head, like, finally, yes, I can get some sleep because the door is locked and this lunatic is out of here. Wrong. So I don't know how long after, and I'm not even gonna sit here and try to lie about it. I do know it was a while after because it was complete daytime when I was woken back up. And when I was woken back up, my sister was up and he was back in the house. Now in my head, I'm just replaying everything that happened, but I'm still like asking myself, like, was everything a dream or was it real? Because I can't really put too much together right now, you guys. I can't lie, I've never felt like this in my life. So when I wake up and he's back in the house, I just remember my sister saying, I want some dick. So I didn't say anything, you guys. I didn't say anything. I just kind of laid there thinking, wondering what was real and what wasn't, you know. And my sister and him, they went outside to the car. And about 5 minutes later, literally, she walked back in the house and she was just like, this nigga can't get hard. And he said it's because my pussy is dry. And I know that's not true. So she's just like really upset. Like, you know, niggas don't tell me my pussy is dry. So I don't know what's going on with him. But he trying to blame it on me. And I don't appreciate that. Now that kind of sent a red flag off in my head because why are you not getting hard? You know, men don't get hard sometimes after they already fucked, but I don't know. So I'm just basically sitting in the bed. My sister's going off about him blaming her for that, and at this point, he comes in, he grabs something, and he leaves. So he's going for good, and I'm just sitting in the bed, just sitting there. And I just remember while I was sitting in the bed with her, I just opened my legs and looked between my legs, and I was like throbbing. Like, I was throbbing. So at that point, I kind of knew what happened. Me and my sister have always had issues about guys because I don't know what it is about guys wanting to deal with sisters, but like if a guy deals with her, they'll come try to deal with me, or if they deal with me, they'll try to go deal with her after. And it just always really bothered her more than it bothered me. Like, you know, guys are gonna be guys, they're dog ass niggas, they're gonna fuck whoever. So for her it was a little different. It was just like really traumatizing to her when a guy who she talked to tried to talk to me, always. So it just really bothered me. I just knew, like, if I tell her what happened, shit is about to go left. So I ended up calling my sister-in-law, and I'm just like, you know, read between the lines, sister-in-law. I don't know what's wrong with my pussy, but it feels like I got fucked. So I literally take my camera and I put it down there, and I show her my pussy, and she's like, bitch, you're throbbing. And it looks like nut coming out of you. Like, you definitely fucked last night. Like, who was you with? So I told her, you know, I wasn't with anyone in specific. Like, you know, we turned up a little bit, but that was that. And, yeah. So after that, I get up, mind y'all, I checked on the baby, you know, I cleaned the baby up and stuff, but I went to the bathroom after being on the phone with my sister-in-law, and I found my shirt from the previous night on the bathroom floor, which was fine because, like I said, I did throw up all over myself. So if he took off my shirt, you know, I wouldn't have seen that as an issue. However, when I picked the shirt up, there wasn't any throw up on it, but there was nuts on the shirt, and the shirt smelled like, you know, we grown. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, I feel like I know this happened for real, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try to put it in my sister's head, you know, like, without pissing her off, like, you know, this is what happened, and I had no control over the situation, but I didn't want to come straight out and tell her, so I figured I'm gonna make her read between the lines, too. So I took the shirt out the bathroom, and I just took it to my sister, and I put it to her nose, like, what does this smell like to you? She was like, I don't know. Just like that, y'all. She was just like, I don't know. It was like she didn't want to know what that shirt smelled like, but the shirt was, it had a very strong scent, and you could just, you know what that shirt smelled like. So after that, you know, I was just really hurt, like replaying the thoughts in my head, everything from throwing up on the baby to just my head being in the toilet to him taking advantage of me. Everything just hurted so bad. I was so hurt. I got in my car and I went to the store, and I just stayed on the phone with my sister-in-law as long as I could, crying. And she was just telling me, like, bitch, you need to tell her. Like, you need to let her know what the fuck going on. And I was just telling her, bitch, if I tell her, it's not going to be good. Like, she going to blame me. I just know I'm going to have something to do with this. So I ended up going back to the house hours later after being at the store for hours. So when I got back home, I could just tell there was like this big energy change between me and my sister, and she was just really upset, and I couldn't really tell why, because I knew it wasn't because of that reason, because I didn't tell her, and I knew my sister wouldn't cross those lines. And then I noticed that my sister was drinking out the bottle of Henny that we had from the night before with him, and I seen little white things floating around in the bottom of the Henny bottle. So I'm just like, yeah, sis, I ain't gonna lie, I felt like something was in the bottle, for real. And yeah, at this point my sister was so upset that I was just going and avoiding her, and she just didn't know what the reason was. And I was just like, yeah, I just feel like I need to tell her, because now it's to the point where she feel like I'm acting funny towards her. So I went ahead and told my sister what I thought happened, and she immediately went to live on Facebook, and she was just like, yeah, live, like, this nigga drugged us. Like, I've never felt like that in my life. At this point, she was agreeing with me on how she felt, because like I said, we drink bottles of Henny all the time. It was like a every weekend thing for us. So we just couldn't understand why we was out of our body like that off of a bottle of Henny, you know? So she on the live basically, and she like, niggas ain't shit, they'll drug you and then rape your sister and this and that. But then she told me that she remembered that night when she was on the bed, when I told you he came out the bathroom with the towel and went in the room with her. She said she remembered being fucked. Mind you, she was in the bed with her children. So if he fucked her in the bed with her kids. But she said she remembers him fucking her. Now, for one, it's disgusting because he fucked her and then he fucked me. But even what's more disgusting is the fact that he fucked her and then he fucked me and then he went to fuck her again. It's like, it didn't make any sense to me. It was like, what's the point? You fucked her already. Why would you come bother me? I'm laying in a pool of throw up. You got her right here. Like, why would you come mess with me? Why would you come fuck with me? So at this point, my sister's on the live. Like I said, she's still drinking a bottle of Henny. My sister's just like mad as fuck. She's getting madder and madder the more she talk about it. And then she looks at me and she asks me, how am I supposed to know you didn't have anything to do with it? Now, in my head, I had already been holding the situation for so long because, like I said, I didn't tell her immediately. I was talking to my sister-in-law about it. So it's like I was holding it in so long. When she asked me that, it's just like I exploded and we got into a big-ass fight. So when we get in a big-ass fight, she ended up, her and her kids, she took them and they moved to a hotel. So they went and lived in a hotel. I'm in the house cleaning and what do I hear? A knock at the door. And guess who the fuck it is? This motherfucking nigga. So there's niggas banging at my door, and I'm sitting in the living room, and he's like at the living room door. That's where the front door is, and he's just like yelling, like, "Why are you telling your sister that I raped you? Like, why would you tell her something like that? Why are you lying on me?" And I peeped out the blind to see he was holding his son, which let me know he wanted me to, see him as a good guy, but really I could never see him as a fucking human again because what he did was just so degrading. It was so disrespectful. It was just so rude, and I just never could forgive this man in my life. I didn't say anything to him. I sat in that living room and I kept my mouth closed and I let him say what he wanted to say through that door until he eventually walked off. When he did walk off, he got in that car, sat in the yard, and started texting me. And I'm gonna drop a thread of the text messages of some of the stuff he was saying after this clip right here. Now his brother, the one that he hooked me up with, I had actually went to school with him. And in school, he was just like one of those guys that every girl wanted. Now I wanted him, but I wasn't one of those girls who just walked up and approached a guy that I wanted to talk to. So this opportunity just felt like it was perfect timing. Like it wasn't meant for us to talk back then because now we older and we can like understand each other more. We know how to communicate better and all of that. So everything was going pretty good with him. But then he found out about that and he flipped on me. Like, he flipped on me. He told me, it didn't happen. I did that because I wanted to type shit. Now, all of them were in a car club along with another dude that I know that I was best friends with. So my boy best friend, he called me. He's just like, what's going on? Because when one thing happened with that car club, that word travels fast. Everybody knows about it. So he's just like, what's going on, And I'm just like, not really saying anything. And then he said, yeah, blank told me that you let him have a threesome with you and your sister. And I just was so mad. Like, really? So that just told me, like, you're admitting to, doing something with me, but now you're saying it's a threesome? And how do you think that's gonna work? Because my sister know we ain't have no threesome, but here you are admitting that we did something. And we know we did. You know, it wasn't a threesome. It was assault. You took this from me. So at this point, you know, word traveled, and at this point, I was a liar. I was lying about being raped by this man because he was in a car club, and everybody felt like he was that nigga. He didn't have to take no pussy. But my boy best friend that was also in that car club said he didn't put it past him because there were multiple accusations against him, one female saying that he molested or raped him. Thank y'all so much for taking your time out to listen to my story. Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm gonna have way more stories to tell. And we're gonna be able to get this stuff up out of each other together, motivate each other, and push each other through. Because at the end of the day, it's all about woman empowerment. And if nobody else sticks beside of us, only us women know what we have to go through in life. Thank you so much again for watching. It's your girl Nina, and I am out.